Adding fractions. What is a fraction? A fraction represents a part of a whole. It has two parts. The top number is called the numerator, and that shows how many parts we have out of the whole, so how many are shaded. The denominator is the bottom number, and that shows you how many parts the whole is divided into. So for example, 2/9 means we have 2 out of 9 equal parts. Rules for adding fractions. To add fractions, the denominators must be the same. If the denominators are the same, simply add the numerators, which is the top number. If the denominators, bottom number, are different, then you will need to convert the denominator by finding the lowest common denominator. Year 3. In Year 3, children need to understand that when the denominators are the same, they only need to add the numerators. Bar models are a useful way of representing addition fractions and are easier to work with than circles, as they are easier to draw and easier to split into equal parts. Adding fractions with the same denominator. So first, you check if the denominators are the same, so that's the bottom number. If they are the same, then you just simply add the numerators, which is the top number. Write the result with the same denominator. So for example, 3/7 add 2/7 equals 3 add 2, because that's your numerator, which will be 5, and your denominator stays the same because the amount of parts you have won't change. So here I have 1/7 add 2/7. So I'm going to have a bar model and I'm going to divide it into 7 parts. Because my denominator is 7, it's telling me how many parts I need. First of all, I shade 1/7, so 1 out of the 7. Next, I will shade 2/7, because that's my next fraction, 2 out of the 7. And in total, I have now shaded 3/7, 3 out of 7. And I will write that as a fraction. So here I have 2/9 add 4/9. So again, I look at the denominator, which is the bottom number, and they are both the same. So I just need to add my top number, which is my numerator. So again, I will do 2/9, so 2 out of 9. And I will then colour 4 parts out of the 9. And I'll also put it on my part whole model. And then I look at how many are completely shaded. So 2 add 4, I have got 6 parts shaded. So my fraction is 6/9. 6 out of the 9 have been shaded. In Year 4, they build on their learning from Year 3, and children add 2 or more fractions with the same denominator. They add fractions and then mixed numbers. So they add fractions with totals greater than 1. They begin to convert improper fractions to mixed numbers. Children start by folding strips of paper and shading the equal parts. They transfer this knowledge to using diagrams and bar models to add 2 fractions, before progressing to add more than 2 fractions. So here we have 3 fractions that we're adding. So we have 3/5 add 4/5 add 4/5. Again, we have the same denominator. So here I have my 3 bar models. First one representing 3/5 and the other 2 4/5. So if I add up all the shaded parts, I can see that that is 11/5 that have been shaded. But of course that is an improper fraction because the numerator is larger than the denominator. So I need to make this into a mixed number. So how many can I make? So I know that 5 goes into 11 twice, so I can make 2 wholes, and then I have 1 out of the 5 left over. So therefore, to change it into a mixed number, I can say that I have 2 wholes and 1/5. Year 5. Children in Year 5 will move on to adding 3 or more fractions as well as pairs of fractions. So children continue to represent the addition of fractions using pictorial or concrete representations to make sense of both the methods and the answers. Children continue to add fractions where one denominator is a multiple of the other, but progress their addition knowledge further for fractions where the total is greater than 1. Their answers will be in proper fractions, but they should convert them to mixed numbers. So adding fractions with a different denominator. So now you need to find the lowest common denominator, which is a number that both of the denominators will go into. So you convert each fraction to have the same denominator. You can then add the numerators together and simplify the fraction if necessary. So for example, I have 1/4 add 1/6. So here I have my denominators are both different. So I need to find my lowest common denominator of 4 and 6. So I know that 4 goes into 12 3 times and 6 goes into 12 twice. So 12 is my lowest common denominator. So I will convert both of my fractions so that the denominators are 12. And to do that, I know that 6 has to be multiplied by 2 to get to 12. And what I do to my denominator, I have to do to my numerator. So I also multiply that by 2. And then 1/4 to get to 12, the 4 to get to 12, I have to multiply by 3. And of course, I have to do the same to my numerator. I multiply that by 3. So now I have fractions of 3/12 add 2/12 equals 5/12. And I can't simplify that down any smaller, so my result will be 5/12. Here I have 2/3 add 5/6. Again, I have 2 different denominators, so I have to find my lowest common denominator. So I will use bar model this time. I have 2/3 at the top and then 5/6 at the bottom. So I'm going to make all of my denominators the same. So I can see that 6 is my lowest common denominator because 3 will go into 6 twice. So I will then change my top bar model into 6 parts. So my new fractions are 4/6 add 5/6 because I've had to make my denominator of my 3 into a 6. I've had to multiply that by 2. So I've had to multiply my numerator by 2, which will make 4. So I now have 4/6 add 5/6, which equals 9/6. But again, I have an improper fraction, so I need to make this into a mixed number. To do that, I take my denominator and I say, how many times does 6 go into 9? Well, it goes into 9 one whole time with 3 left over. So I know that my mixed number will be 1 whole and 3 6 because I have 3 parts out of my 6 left. In Year 6, children build on previous learning to use equivalent fractions to add fractions where one denominator is a multiple of the other. They start by using bar models before moving on to finding the first common multiple of the denominators. So here I have 7/12 add 1/4 and I have a bar model. But because my denominators are not the same, I now need to make them the same. So I need to find my lowest common denominator again. And of course that is going to be 12 because 4 can go into 12 3 times. So here I need to multiply my 1/4 by 3. So I need to multiply my denominator and my numerator by 3, which will give me 3/12. So now I have 7/12 add 3/12, which equals 10/12. And I can actually simplify that because I can divide my numerator and denominator by 2, which will then give me a fraction of 5/6. So I've simplified my fraction to its smallest amount. So key points to remember. If the denominators are the same, you just simply add the numerators. If the denominators are different, you need to find the lowest common denominator and convert the fractions to the same denominator. Remember, what you do to the denominator, the bottom number, you must do to the numerator, the top number as well. Then you can simplify the fraction if it is possible to do so. Keep practicing to become more confident with adding those fractions.